The big one is the custom GPT store. So essentially now, if you're on the premium plan, it's $20 per month. You can build as many custom GPTs as you'd like to. Just last week, OpenAI launched the GPT store. So think the app store on your phone, but for AI.
But back in the day when there were no apps.
Yes, that's right.
So back in the day with the iPhone, you had iPhone produced like maybe 30
the
apps. The calculator
yep.
and the whatever.
Yep.
And then they opened it up to developers to say, whatever you want to do, and think about the billions or maybe, I don't know how much it is, hundreds of billions of dollars been made by app developers over the years.
And you'd have to pay companies who knew how to code apps because it was prohibitively expensive. Right. It was in the tens of thousands. With this thing here, you literally go on there and you talk to it. And while you're talking to it, it builds the app or the GPT in the background. And so that's probably the biggest opportunity that I would see right now for people. So that in and of itself is great, and I'll give a couple of different examples.
It's like this is where that text to code comes in. You say, yes. I want to do this app for the chat GPT, and it'll make the app based on your command.
Exactly.
That is mind-blowing.
So here's some examples. So just say, for example, you wanted to, well, let's just say coaching, right? So you could create or maybe mental health. Mental health's a big thing right now. So let's say you can create a GPT all about coaching someone through their anxiety moment, or how do I get more confidence. You just train the data. You can pull that data from anywhere you'd like to. You can find some of the best psychologists in the world, download their videos, transcribe it, upload it as a PDF for the training data and the data point. And then what you do is you just give that out to people for free, and they can use this tool as much as they'd like. Let's just say, for example, so they go to check the tool and say, hey, I'm having trouble with anxiety. I need some help. It will then go through and give them some exercises and some things they can do to help right now. And then it just asks, hey, do you want to talk to a human about this? Do you need any extra help? And so there's a few different things you can do here. You could either sell that as an AI tool for psychologists or counselors or people like that. Or, and this is the big one I think, you can start a lead generation business. So then you just farm those leads out. So every time they say, okay, yes, I'd like to talk to a human being, and I'm in the Gold Coast, you then farm that lead out to a psychologist or a counselor or whoever else it is, and they pay you per lead. And the running cost for that is $20 per month. And remember, you can create as many of these as you'd like to. And so that's just one simple example. Yeah, go ahead.
How do people find these? So if I'm the person that's dealing with anxiety, where do I find this app?
Yeah, so obviously you have to get it out to them. So what you can do is you can just promote it. Now, with that as well, because it's so new and novel, the marketing does itself. So they'll discover it through viral. People go, wow, this app helped me through my anxiety, whatever else it is, and it's super simple. Now, if you want to just be without any sort of API, you can do it in ChatGPT directly. What I recommend, though, is you have a website. You just have a website that people can go to, and you connect it up to the interface. Or, if you'd like to, you can even have it so it interacts through SMS, through WhatsApp, and even through Messenger. So maybe you're even a personal trainer, for example, and you want to help encourage your clients to stay fit and healthy and with their nutrition. They can text you and say, or they could text this custom GPT and say, hey, this is what I've got on my menu, or this is what I'm thinking about buying. Is that in my meal plan? It will then know, based off what you've told it, whether it's good or not, and formulate the response and come back to them via SMS, WhatsApp, Messenger, or through the website as well. This stuff here is mind-boggling. And again, I'm just giving a couple of different examples. This is all, you can create it in a matter of minutes. It's a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and then to that point as well, if you're going to have your own website and drive traffic to it and whatnot, there's an application called 10Web, which you can build a website in about 10 minutes, start to finish. I built a website for another company that I wrote the copy on, did all that, and then sent it to my old usual tech development guy. He charged me about $800, I think all told, about $900, and built it in WordPress. And then I found 10Web and was like, that was a waste of about $890 because I could have done it for 10 and in a matter of minutes.
I would love to do a part 2 to this pod, Chris, where we actually do it on camera.
Yes.
Build an app on camera, because I think that would be amazing.
No, I'm thinking when you're talking about these business ideas, I'm thinking obviously I know we're all kind of following macros at the moment, right, with nutrition. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking it's pretty basic, but then when you're starting to think to yourself, here's my macros, this is what I'm supposed to be eating every day based on my weight, my age, and my training, right? What am I going to make?
Yeah.
Right?
So on that, you can take a photo of the food and say, hey, will this be in my macros or not? And the AI will know because it can interact with the image, and then it can give you recipes.
Instant, that's what I mean, right? Instant recipes. Here's 1,000 recipes for lunch, within your macro account.
And then create your shopping list and email it to you.
I think the big advantage for all of you listening at home, you up and coming entrepreneurs, the big advantage here is not just that there's all these ideas, but you can test them for nothing now. Yeah. See, back in the day, we had to develop an app or we had to develop a website and we needed coders. So everything cost in the thousands or tens of thousands. Whereas what you're saying, Chris, is you can actually test this and launch this for hundreds of dollars in days, not months.
Yeah, exactly.
And
even less.
Even less. And that's the real, like, this is a time to be, really getting stuck in, becoming obsessed.
So if I've got $10,000, right? And I go, okay, I want to start some of these apps, AI apps, right? For 10 grand and half a brain, how many apps do you think I can create with $10,000?
Well, okay.
Roughly.
Well,
like not counting your consulting fee, Chris.
Yes.
Sure. Just if you
you're one.
just straight off. Like, there you go.
The end of one.
Yeah. Less than. No. So okay, let's just look at that and think through. Look, you could do easily 1,000, easily. Right,
surely one's got to work, eh? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
and that's,
and if you're time rich, this is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
If you're time rich as a young person, I'd be getting together with a mastermind with other young people, like we used to do with Amazon and all the businesses we started, and go, all right, boys and girls, let's go. Let's have a hackathon. Let's do this shit.
Now is the greatest time.
That's what I would be doing. I mean, Chris and I have been back and forth with a bunch of ideas, which I'm not going to share. but we're going back and forth with
10
some
grand?
ideas.
You're a seed investor.
But no, that's right. No, we're
that's
talking about this at the moment. We're doing an offsite with Chris and us and getting together and go, how about we put some money in the pot, invite some young people or any people who are interested in this up, and we'll fund some of these ideas together and say, right, here's 20 grand. Let's see what we can do in a weekend, and we'll fund them.
Yeah.
But we get equity in them.
The reality is no one's doing this, right? People will listen to the podcast. Same thing with me, and it's hard to embrace because it is overwhelming, and then life hits you in the face, right? And you go back to the grind. So for me, it's making each other accountable and going, okay,
ideas
for 1 hour a
fragile.
week or 1 hour every 2 weeks, we're going to sit down, we're going to go in a room, and we're going to strategize and make this thing real and action, right?
That's what I said prior to us recording, didn't I? When Chris said, can we have a meeting? I said, yes, but I want it to be offsite in a boardroom so that we give it the proper attention. And that's what people don't do. This idea is fragile. Like, you guys are listening to the pod right now. I got to do this. Patrick Bet-David said, show me, here's the number one way to find out if somebody's successful or not. Show me their calendar. That's the logbook of success, right? Oh, I listened to a podcast. Okay, that kind of counts. Here's the 10 hours of work I have scheduled as a result of what I learned in the podcast. It is that block of deep work that needs to be scheduled in your diary. So if you're listening to this, what I want you to be doing is saying, okay, I'm going to allot 30 minutes to send emails to 50 people, 10 people, whatever, and say, who wants to work on this with me, and actually have a meeting, like get together with people on Zoom or in a room and start brainstorming this, because somebody is going to dominate in these areas, and they're going to have these small wins, they're going to leave the big wins, and then they're going to launch some big kick-ass companies.
And it sounds like there's not much competition at the moment, right? Because it's so new.
That's what I was about to say. Like, you think about how hard it's got to be to become a social media influencer now. The competition is it's so much competition. Right now, this is wide open. It's wide open. So I would actually edit it out if needed, but I'd lay down the challenge for people who are watching. Pop it in the comments. Like, what are you going to do? What are some of the ideas you're thinking?
Go for it, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pop in the comments your commitment to what you want to do and the next steps, because what we're trying to do here at Unemployable, guys, is, in this pod particularly, is teach business owners, hey, you need to pay attention to this, and if you don't, you are going to find yourself all of a sudden that scrawny competitor that you're against is going to turn into a Goliath, and they're going to do it using AI. Yeah. And if you're an entrepreneur looking at this or want to be entrepreneur, this is where I would be paying attention as a young person today. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Unemployable. If you want to watch another clip, click here, or if you want to see the full episode, click here. Bye for now.